Testing. Okay. Hello, folks. This is Bob Safale, and we're about to start our event. I just want to make sure that y'all can hear me clearly. So the first thing I want to do is see if you do. So go ahead and click on your upper right-hand side of your screen. You're going to see a little hand. I need you to click that on if you can hear me clearly. Go ahead and click it on and off if you can hear me clearly. This is important because my little headset seems to be, I don't know if it's malfunctioning, but can you hear me clearly? Just hit your little hand, back and forth. There we go. Thank you. This is excellent. Okay, so away we go. We have a really interesting series of news pieces here for you. But before we get started, I just want to make sure everybody's all in line here in terms of why we're here. We do these webinars to really give you an idea of what's happening, what trends are happening. We try to give you news that is just breaking, as an example. We're also here to give you information about tech trends, because this industry is changing so fast. It's hard to believe. So that's why we're here. We want to give you news. We want to give you predictive news, not just any old news. We want to provide you news that will allow you to predict the future. And if you could predict the future, and you're involved in an industry where you can buy the currencies or the tokens and be able to benefit from that, it's always good to have good, solid news. So that's important, and so that's why we're doing that. So real quick here, the first part of our briefing, I kind of want to focus on 3 major news stories, as you know. Then we're going to talk about trends, huge future trends. And then I have some wrap-up news that's really cool. And then we do our contest. So the first piece of news that we think is really blockbuster news is Coinbase is acquiring a financial services firm so that it can become an SEC regulated broker-dealer. Now that's pretty interesting. It feels like to me that Coinbase is positioning themselves to start being a very legitimate source of initial coin offerings. And they want to be at the front edge of what's happening in the regulatory world. Now, Coinbase is probably, it's reasonable to say that they're the biggest, if not, they're certainly one of the biggest exchanges operating in North America. Binance, of course, is the big worldwide leader, but Coinbase is not far behind. And the fact that Coinbase wants to basically get involved in the broker-dealer world, that means they want to be able to sell securities. So they've seen the writing on the wall here, folks. They've seen that the regulatory world is shaping now. As I've been saying all along, you want the regulatory world to have some partnership or some, not a lot of regulations, but you want enough in there so you keep the crooks out and you make the environment protected enough that these huge investment funds that literally have trillions of dollars, not like millions or tens of millions or even billions, you have some investment funds that are in excess of $1 trillion. So you want that money to be able to come into the system because this is a cryptocurrency. So you want the money to roll in, what I call the fiat money or the US dollars or the euros or whatever, and you want that washing in and then ultimately converting over into crypto because that's how it's really going to go nuts here. Okay, because remember, you still have about every quarter now, you have another 3 million people who are getting involved in trading. Don't forget that. It's 3 million people a quarter. And that when that starts accelerating to 4 or 5 or 6 million people a quarter, and I'm watching that very carefully. I have a site that gives me the statistics of the number of active currency wallets. Okay, and that will tell you how much activity there is. It lets you know how many participants there are. So you got to watch for those wallets and the number of wallets and the growth of the wallets every quarter. Last quarter, it was about 3 million. Okay, so we're up to somewhere around 25 million people that are continuously participating in this crypto coin world. All right. So the fact that Coinbase has now acquired a financial services company, they are now a broker-dealer, this is a big deal. This is a very, very big deal. Okay, so the next piece of news, I just want to make sure you can hear me clearly. Once again, going to check my little, when it hit the little hands, touch your little hands there, make sure, tell me you can hear me. Click your hand on the upper right-hand corner, just want to make sure. Okay, good. Good. All righty. So the next piece of news is huge. Okay, you got to watch the money. Follow the money. So Susquehanna International Group is now opening its own cryptocurrency trading to its clients. Now, I'm going to tell you now, Susquehanna, it's a unit of American Global Trading, is a giant company. I mean, they're one of the largest financial firms in the world. They're in Pennsylvania, right outside of Philadelphia. Now, what's happening? They now are jumping in to trading, and I think they may even turn on their trading desk either at the same time or just after Goldman Sachs. Okay, so every time you see another giant player jump into the swimming pool, it's all good for everybody else. Okay, so now what's I think important about this is the first thing they're going to be trading and focusing on are Bitcoin futures. Now, even though Bitcoin is a smaller percentage of buying and selling than ever before, you have many more coins coming in the marketplace, Bitcoin still is a bellwether. So you still want to have a lot of people who are in there buying. And when you're talking about futures buying, you're essentially buying on a what I would call a more optimistic, tune. Okay, so the fact that Susquehanna is getting in there, Susquehanna International Group is getting in there, one of the largest financial firms in the world. Again, big news. Another big financial player getting involved, and their first thing they're going to be doing is trading in Bitcoin futures. Now, folks, last Thursday, Bitcoin had rolled up to about $7,300, $7,400. They withstood the last PR attack. And I told you, folks, the ammo is running out. And by yesterday or even today, they were up at about $7,600, $7,700 a Bitcoin. So I keep on saying this. I keep on, and I want everybody, at least in our group, to know you should be making long bets in this crypto world. Don't just think short term. You guys are still really early here. So you got to stay on the front end of this big bandwagon here. Okay, what's the third big piece of news? And this one's really big. Okay, Circle. Now, who is Circle? Okay, y'all remember who Circle is? Oh yeah. They were funded in large part by Goldman Sachs. I keep on saying and referencing Goldman Sachs, and you're probably getting tired of it, but I'm just going to keep on referencing it because the fact is that for literally decades and decades and decades and decades, multiple Goldman Sachs former partners, former executives end up being in the government in the Treasury Department. I mean, the last, I'm thinking 20 years, you've had two Goldman Sachs chairmen who ultimately became the Secretary of the Treasury. All right? So if you follow what Goldman Sachs does, then you know, I mean, if suddenly Goldman Sachs says, we're not doing trading. We're not going to do all that. By the way, we're going to sell all of our assets that are involved in cryptocurrency that we invested in, we're getting out. Now, if all of a sudden they're exiting and running for the hills, now we may have a problem. Okay? But here is Circle, which is one of their biggest investments. And now Circle is seeking a banking license. And they want to have a trading venue. Okay? So, again, follow the money. Follow the money. And certainly you're seeing banking licenses coming up. You're seeing regulatory reform. These are all steps to basically allow the big pension funds to be able to invest in the crypto world. Remember something about, and I don't know how many people here are familiar with, investment rules and investment charters. But these big pension funds are not allowed by charter to invest in risky companies or risky industries. Why? Because they have pension funds. They have pension money. They have money from, teachers associations. They have monies from United Mine Workers. They have money from United Auto Workers. They have money. The pension funds are the last guys on planet Earth that are going to want to get too speculative. So all the chess piece moves you're seeing by Goldman Sachs, by their investment in Circle, by Susquehanna, all of these steps are chess pieces being put in place so that in the near future, if not the very near future, all of a sudden you're going to hear about CalPERS. That's the big California People's Pension Fund. When you see CalPERS all of a sudden putting money into cryptocurrency companies like Circle, wow, Katie bar the door. Okay, that's a good thing. All right. So those are the three, and let me just repeat them again. You've got Coinbase. They're now about to they've acquired a services firm. They're about to jump into the brokerage world, broker-dealer world, so they can sell securities. Sounds like they're going to get into the ICO business. You got Susquehanna International Group, which is one of the world's largest financial firms. Okay. They're jumping in. They're about to start their own trading desk, starting with Bitcoin futures. Okay, now it's just reported a couple days ago by the New York Times. Not that I'm a big fan of the Times, but, there you go. And then last but not least, you have probably the single largest investment company that's been invested in by Goldman Sachs. And now all of a sudden, they're seeking a banking license and to be able to trade themselves. Okay, so those are your three big news stories. Let's move on to what I believe are in the very near future 3 things that can have a huge, huge difference in this crypto world. Number 1, first item, Amazon. Oh yeah, Amazon. Amazon, as you all know, is the 8,000-pound gorilla. And if you see them moving or even talking about going in a particular direction, they're going to go in that direction. You know, they're going to go in that direction. And you all know their history, of course. I mean, they started out selling books, and then they moved into other product lines. And they keep on buying into industries. They're changing the face of the retail sales world, changing it completely. I mean, they just bought Whole Foods. Heck, they're delivering. My wife was buying Whole Foods from Amazon today. They deliver. Boom. So Amazon is now seriously considering doing one of 3 things. 1, have their own cryptocurrency. Obviously, that's a good thing, because all of a sudden, if they have a cryptocurrency, they're going to want to trade with other cryptocurrencies, and I don't have to say anything more, do I? That's one thing. Or they are going to partner with one or more big currencies. One that's been named is Ripple. So, I think I'm going to start maybe picking up a little bit of Ripple here if it comes closer to the fact that Amazon may want to partner with them. Or the third thing that could happen, and I think this is the least likely thing, although ultimately down the road it's probably going to happen, is Amazon will buy a cryptocurrency company. They'll buy one. Okay? Now, why is this important? Why is it, what's the deal with Amazon? Why am I talking about Amazon? Why do I think this could be a major change? It's because what problems does cryptocurrency solve? Well, one of the big problems it can solve in the future, and is solving to some degree now, is that it allows whole nations of unbanked people who right now can't open a bank account. They don't have like a bank down the street that they could go waltz in and, put a bag of money there or a bunch of $100 bills. They don't have. There's a lot of countries, a lot of people that are unbanked. Now, if they're unbanked, then that means they can't buy from Amazon. If you don't have a way to buy something, you can't buy from Amazon. If you don't have a credit card, you don't have a debit card, you don't have a prepaid card, you don't have a phone. I don't know. There's a lot of things that can stop you, but you got to have a way to hand Amazon some money. So Amazon is looking into the future. They're saying, oh, well, what can make this? How could I access a couple more billion people? Well, get involved in the cryptocurrency world. And at that point, what you want to ask yourself, which currencies are out there that are the easiest to use for retail purposes? Well, now we know Bitcoin itself is certainly not. It takes too long to do transactions with it, doesn't it? You're going to have to look at what other currencies are designed now or in the future to be able to be used easily without taking a bunch of energy, without requiring a whole bunch of zeros and ones and encryption, without making it really tough for somebody in Ethiopia to be able to get access to the coins. Those are the coins that are the long play coins. So Amazon getting involved with crypto, giant deal. Now they're just talking about it now. Okay? They're just talking. But there's going to be a series of steps that they take that is going to let you know that they're for real. the more time, the more activity that Amazon allows in terms of the use of crypto and buying and selling things on Amazon's platform, that's going to let you know they're getting prepared. So Amazon's the first major super change that could happen. What's the second one? Well, let's take a look. We think this is a big deal right here. And what you see here, let me just kind of get this up. I'm going to call it voting with your feet. Okay, now what do I mean by voting with your feet? I mean, there are now billionaires, big ones, now voting with their feet. They're getting involved with investing in crypto. They're getting involved in buying and selling and trading and investing into crypto. So that's a key thing for you to watch. The number of big billionaires that are jumping into this world. Now, obviously, I'm not all that concerned about whether those billionaires themselves are going to make a whole bunch of money. They probably will. What I'm really into is the fact that they have a lot of political clout. They put a lot of money into political campaigns. So if they're putting their money into crypto, they're going to protect their investment. And whether you like it or not, politicians are going to be involved. That's just the way it is. Maybe 25, 50 years, that's going to change. Maybe 100, who knows? But for right now, today, and for the next 6 months, the next year, the next 5 years, the next 10 years, next 20 years, politicians are going to be in the game. So what you want to do in any industry that's growing is you want to see billionaires jumping in and investing, because then they're going to take steps, what they always do, to protect their investment. They're just going to do that. So this reporting just happened last month. That's Maria Bartiromo, Fox News, Wall Street analyst. She's really good. She did a whole news piece on this about the fact that billionaires are coming in, cryptocurrency investing is coming into the mainstream, and it's great news for us. So once again, every time you see this kind of news happening, it's a good thing. If you've got any type of holdings into any type of crypto, it's a good thing, because you just want to see the entire market, the entire industry getting more and more accepted. You want more and more big players jumping in to this game. And the more you see that, the more you can, with confidence, stick your toe farther and farther into the pool and get your whole leg wet, get your whole body wet. You start swimming around the pool. And great signs, great signals happening on virtually every news story I see. Okay? What's the third big thing? And I think the next news story, this trend, and like I said, my whole thing tonight is to talk about what I think could be the 3 most significant changes or developments in the next 6 to 12 months. Amazon, number 1, the voting with your feet billionaires jumping in, and then the third thing is how I believe cryptos will start moving into the retail space more and more and more. Because ultimately what you want to see is you want to see cryptos used to buy and sell small products. Whether it's buying and selling those products outright or the other thing. Let's show you this third piece of news. Boom! You probably heard of Fujitsu. I'm sure most of you heard of Fujitsu. You probably got some products in your home that are Fujitsu products. They're the big Japanese IT giant. Now, what do you see here? They are betting on blockchain-based reward systems. That's right, rewards. Means when you buy a set of shoes on Amazon Maybe you're going to get a crypto reward. Maybe you didn't outright buy the shoes with a currency, cryptocurrency, but when you bought the shoes, you received a cryptocurrency as a reward. You see how that works? That in part can be a way to, I don't want to say this the wrong way, but it's a way for somebody to acquire cryptocurrency without buying it direct and having to run through a bunch of regulatory hoops. It could be a way for a company to be able to give you or provide you cryptocurrency without selling it directly to you. I mean, and once again, you have, I don't know, you have 200 countries out there, and every country seemingly has a different set of laws and regulations related to crypto. So if you are selling a pair of shoes and you're giving away for free cryptocurrency as a reward, well, then you're in good shape. You're probably in good shape with almost every single country out there, barring some. So Fujitsu is now launching a whole blockchain-based reward system or platform for retail. And they'll start supplying that system to retailers, obviously starting in Japan, and then moving into Korea, then moving into Taiwan, then moving into Indonesia, and then just grows. And that's how you're going to see crypto becoming part of tens of millions of transactions daily. It gets people used to it. I mean, honestly, as hard as it is to believe, particularly with the people here on this webinar, you still have about 95% of the world that don't know cryptocurrency from a hole in the wall. You guys know what it is. About 5% of people in North America know what a cryptocurrency is. But there are a lot of people who have no clue what it is. And the more people out there that find out what the heck this is, then they're going to get more wallets, they're going to get more involved, and then you're going to see that 3 million wallet growth every quarter go to 6 million a quarter, then 9 million a quarter. And then it's just off to the races. So if you have coins of any type, you should benefit. So we believe that when you start seeing products being sold and a reward is added to it, it's significant. And I'm going to show you how I'm betting with my feet on this. Our company has just acquired a significant amount of a particular type of product that I have celebrities involved with. It's a cooking product. Okay, we're going to be selling it on Amazon. But you know what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be offering cloud coin rewards when they buy this product. I'm going to start getting cloud coin out there on Amazon and people learning about it. So I'm going to show the theory. That's another reason we're getting really good at developing all this back office stuff and technology for a cloud coin. And I have my whole technical team that do nothing but working on cloud coin and getting it all, efficiencies, and actually developing a pretty neat app with them, obviously. I mean, Sean's brilliant, unbelievable guy. And what I love about Sean Cloud Coin is, boy, they work hard and they are smart. And they don't have any problem with getting help, from us, which is fantastic. So I fully believe that rewards as part of a transaction is one of the major ways that many people are going to find out about crypto for the first time. And we're selling this new cooking product. And by the way, one of the people I've been working on this with is a fellow named Kevin Harrington, who has sold almost $7 billion worth of all sorts of products, many of them cooking products. So the guy knows his stuff regarding cooking products. So you're going to hear more about that. Literally, I have this huge shipment that's, I think it's on trucks coming down south. I'm going to have them in a big warehouse, and we're going to start selling this particular cooking product and having CloudCoin as a reward. So you'll see that. So those are the three big things that we believe are huge, huge plays or big events that are going to happen in the next few months. Between 6 months and 12 months, number one, Amazon's going to jump right in, boom, and they're going to get involved. You're going to see more and more major financial players, billionaires, jumping in to the marketplace. And with that, political power. Every single time you see a big billionaire getting involved, boom, you know there's a lot of political clout coming with it. It's just the way it is, okay? And then lastly, with stories like, and by the way, this story regarding Fujitsu just came out yesterday. When I say we're giving you trends, I mean I was preparing this series of 3 areas that I wanted to talk about. Like I announced this a week ago, and boom, here's exactly what I believe is going to happen with rewards. Okay, now let's go on to the last couple pieces of news. A lot of you actually got involved with a really cool program that, and it's not about Celebrium. I'll talk about Celebrium in a second. There were a number of you that got involved with a program that involved a high school football team. And I want to take a second to give you the results of that. We have a high school football team that I support that's here in Clearwater, Florida, that is making national news, literally national news. It's unbelievable what's happening. And this high school football team's part of a small private school, and it involves a very special education technology that really gives these students a big, big step up and gets them prepared so they can actually take scholarships. Because you see, if you don't have the right grades and you don't have the right SAT score, even if you got a scholarship from Notre Dame, you ain't getting in there, okay? Because you don't have the grades. So this high school specializes in a particular educational technology that's fantastic. But what we've been doing is we've been bringing in some of the best high school players in the world to the school. And it's a pretty amazing thing because it's a small private school. When I say small, I mean small. I mean, it's under 300 students. But here in the middle of this 300-student high school are over 30 super-duper high school football players. And they're so good that we have, in the month of May, we had almost 70 major universities come to this private school to meet the coaches, learn about what we're doing, learn about the education system, meet the players. And when I say, we're talking about almost 70 colleges, and they're not small colleges. Let me list off a couple of them. Alabama, Auburn, Notre Dame, Florida, West Virginia, Texas A&M. These are big, big programs, the biggest in the country. They had Florida. They were out in the parking lot before the school even opened to see the school. I mean, and they didn't even tell us. They were just out in the parking lot. And you have to understand, the Alabama coaches, when they go to high schools and they travel to see players, they go to high schools that have 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 students in it. Here they're walking to this school that has like under 300 students, but all these huge, really good football players. And I'm talking, these guys are big dudes, great players. In fact, we have the number 2 and the number 4 best player from Canada in our school. We have like 7 of the top 60 players in Canada coming to our school. We have some of the best players in Europe coming to school. We have, of course, U.S. players. We have players from American Samoa. But you've just gotta envision. There was one day when 9 colleges came to the school. 9. Now, what does it all mean? Well, it means that in the last 5 weeks, a half dozen of our players have already gotten full scholarship offers, over 50 full scholarship offers. We have 2 players right now that have gotten over a dozen scholarship offers in the last 4 weeks. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. So we had some folks step up that wanted to get involved with the program. I did something crazy. I basically said, hey, here are these cloud coins. I gave a ridiculously low price. They donated the money to the school, so they got a tax write-off. And I also supplied them with cloud coins, which the effective rate is lower than any cloud coin offer we've ever done, but I really wanted, and they were my cloud coins, my personal cloud coins. So I really wanted to help, and we have made it possible for like 6 or 7, no, maybe even 8 players to come to the school. So you guys that got involved with that program, it's still open. If you're still interested and want to learn more about it, you can email me at bob@digitalcurrencygrowth.com. But I want to thank some of the folks that were involved. I really shouldn't say their names, but you know who you are. Tremendous participation. We had one fella who went to high school, was a really, really great player, was the MVP of the team. This is back in the Vietnam era. And he thought he was going to try to get a scholarship. And what his coach didn't tell him when he graduated, his coach didn't tell him that he was not big enough to get scholarship. So that's how he learned that he wouldn't be able to get the scholarship that he had trained for a decade as a young player. This is a guy who's involved with the cryptocurrency, involved with Bitcoin, and this guy ended up signing up for the U.S. Marines and fought in Vietnam to get onto the GI Bill, and now he's a doctor. But that one guy has been incredible in supporting this, and I can't. Maybe he'll let me say who it is in the future, but I can't really right now. But he's been very helpful. We had some folks from Canada who's been unbelievable. We have some gals that have been helping. They've been unbelievable with this. But it's made it possible for us to get like 8 players. 8 players. And these guys, folks, probably 3 or 4 of these guys are gonna be in the NFL. I mean, we have one player who's like 6'4", 6'3", 335 pounds. 335 pounds. He's unbelievable. A Polynesian player. We have a middle linebacker who's like 6'2", 6'3", 235 pounds, can run like the wind, and unbelievable player. So I want to thank anybody who participated in that. If you still want to learn about how you can get involved, just email me at bob@digitalcurrencygrowth.com. A couple more things before we do our drawing. We are closing in on finishing the stage 1 work that we needed to launch Celebrium, and we're now working on a special app. I can't tell you more because I don't know more because I'm not really technical, but we have an app that's going to make the buying and selling and the holding of the coins very, very easy. And this is one of the things the celebrities insisted on. And in addition, we're almost finished negotiations with our 3rd big celebrity. And guess who we're working with now to bring celebrities into Celebrium? We're now working with the Major League Baseball Player Association. We're now working with representatives of the Major League Baseball Players Association to bring baseball players in this. And I'm going to say this now. Baseball cards are like the most traded item in the collectible world. Baseball cards. And now we're working with the Major League Baseball Association, and they're the one that have brought, we're negotiating with, I think it's going to be complete soon, a Hall of Fame baseball player who's going to be the third person in this. So I wanted to give you that news. So that's fantastic. And in addition, remember, I'm going to send out the notice tomorrow. You will be able to see Sean and I on Fox Business Channel with Kevin Harrington, who's one of the original Shark Tank investors and stars. So without further ado, let's go ahead to our drawing. Here's our drawing. Da-da-da-da. Come on. There we go. And let's see who's going to win 10,000 coins. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, number 158. Boy, it's been the higher numbers the last few weeks. It'll switch soon. But number 158, whoever's number 158 just won 10,000 cloud coins. And it couldn't be a better time because things are really moving and grooving. So I want to thank you all for attending our briefing. I'm trying to give you more and more predictive news so you can make great decisions about this whole crypto world. So thanks a lot for attending the briefing tonight.